Hello followers and welcome back to MrMFretwell Plays Minecraft. And as you can see, things are a little bit laggy, and I will explain why in a minute. But as you can see, I'm over here at the cave spider trap. I don't normally do episodes here, but I thought it might be quite nice to introduce the episode here instead of the regular place that we always introduce the episode, which is over at the lab. And there's a reason why I'm over here. I am doing some enchanting and repairs right now, so I figured that I might as well kind of kickstart the episode here. So, why am I so laggy? My computer is melting down, bit by bit. No, I'm only kidding. Basically, I've got a ton of spiders here that need processing, but I was making some potions in order to clear them out. And I'm going to need some gunpowder for that, I believe, so that I can make them splash. And what I've been doing here is I've been doing some repairs. I repaired my axe as that got low. I've done a lot of wood cutting recently, so I thought that I would repair my axe. I have some books that I'm going to enchant, and I'm also repairing my silk touch and my fortune picks as well. So we have damage there now. I'm just going to splash those, and then we're going to take care of these spiders here. And we are almost full on string again. I'm going to have to probably start converting that into wool, actually. I'm going to send the minecart on its way again, as I know from the last stuff. There we go. Things are beginning to get full. Got a lot of spider eyes, so I'm pretty happy with that. So, we've got some splash potions of harming. I believe these guys have all been processed, because otherwise the chamber would still be open. I'm going to go ahead and splash them now, and there goes my frame rate. It'll come back though, it's not the end of the world. So, I need to get over to this anvil here if I can. I need to repair my fortune pick. Now, my fortune pick has gotten low because I've been doing some branch mining from the last episode. I said I needed to go branch mining for redstone, so I did go ahead and do that. And as I say, it's burnt my fortune pick down. I've been mining a lot of different ores lately to get a decent amount of supplies going. Give me all this experience, I need it. Ugh, so laggy. I shouldn't have probably included this, but there we go. I don't know why it's not being absorbed for some reason. There we go. Actually, pick that stuff up now. I can feel it. I'm at 3 frames right now. I need to get to, I think, 36 to repair this bit. And then I need 38 to do the silk touch in a moment here. So, as you can see, I have some diamonds here. That kind of reminds me about what I was doing while branching. Obviously, mainly looking for redstone, but I did come across quite a few diamonds while I was branch mining. And I think I've gotten around a stack of new diamonds now, which is always good. Probably branch mined for maybe an hour or two and got a lot of diamonds, so I can't complain too much with that. There we go, so I can repair that pick now. And I'm going to get the rest of this experience sort of hoovered up here if I can. And we still have a lot to go yet, so I'm going to collect that now. I'm going to open those again. I don't know if this is a new change, but I've noticed that now the actual experience orbs, despite being there, are not shown on my screen, so it's less laggy. I quite like that. That's a decent change, I would say. Useful for recording videos, that's for sure. So to do 2 diamonds, this is my silk touch. Silk touch is a bit cheaper to repair than fortune. It's going to cost me 38. And then I think I'll leave it there for the silk touch. It's kind of a bit wasteful to add a diamond and not maximize the repair efficiency there. So we'll probably just do the 2 diamonds and call it quits for the silk touch. Now, in today's episode, my plan is to do quite a big project. I have a big idea that I've wanted to do for some time, and I've kind of alluded to this in other videos. What I would like to do is build a dot room trap. And I'm going to build that over at the lab, where a lot of caves have been lit up. And it's going to give me a supply of things that I don't currently have a good supply of. Except for the, the kind of useless stuff. Such as zombie flesh, which I have a supply of. But mainly what I'm building it for is bones and ender pearls. So this darkroom trap will work with zombies, skeletons, creepers, gunpowder, I actually forgot about that, endermen, and witches. It will not work with spiders, though. It's the only mob in the overworld. Have I got them all? Zombie, skeleton, creeper, witch, enderman. Yeah, I think so. It's only not working with spiders purely because of the way the spider's height works. But that's not too bad. I mean, I already have the spider trap here, and I'm loaded on string. I never need any more, so I would prefer to, you know, kind of sacrifice spiders in favor of endermen. Generally, I don't know about all dark rooms, but at least the one I'm building, it always seems as if you have to sacrifice one or the other. You could either use endermen or you can use spiders, and you have to pick one or the other. Now, for me at least, I feel that spiders, being as I already have them, are less useful than endermen. I don't have a decent supply of ender pearls, so it's always good to have that if you can, for getting around and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the game plan at the moment. I have all the resources ready over there. Do I need to do anything else while I'm here? I don't think so. I will leave these damage potions behind though, ready for next time. Looks like I'm not doing any more books because I don't have enough levels, and I'm kind of fed up with AFK in here, to be honest. It's pretty good, but at the same time I kind of want to get on with the project now, so I'm actually going to go ahead and put my sound back on, clear out the iron golems up here, and then I'm going to go ahead and return to the main base, and we'll go from there with what we need to do for today's project. So, I'm back here again in the storage room, and I just thought I would show you how many diamonds I have. I have 5 and a little bit now, stacks of diamonds. So as I say, I'm pretty happy with that. And also, my supplies for the dark room are up here. So as you can see, there's this sign here that says possible dark room site. I've decided that this is probably going to be the best place for it. We're going to span the tunnel off that way and then build it. Down there, I'm not sure what we're going to do with yet. Down there's all of our greenery stuff, flowers, cocoa beans, you know, well, tall grass and ferns, those sorts of things. That's back out to the outside, and then off in that direction is sort of miscellaneous farms. And while the dark room could be considered a miscellaneous farm, I kind of want it to be closer to my storage room here, because I want to integrate the mob drops into the floor below. So it makes sense to have it here instead of way over there. So this is all the building blocks. It might not seem like a lot. Mainly going to be building with slabs, and this is all the sort of redstone-y bits. Now, if you look at this supply set here and sort of think for a moment, you might recall this looks very similar to the dark room, well, the gold farm. That's the correct word I was looking for there, the gold farm. Now, this is basically, I wouldn't say a duplicate of it, but it's very similar to the gold farm. And this is placed in the overworld instead of the nether, obviously, so we're going to get regular mobs. Now, the sort of tray slash dish, whatever I called it, in the nether was flat. It's going to be some bumps in this one to prevent spider spawning and that sort of thing. But generally, on the whole, it's pretty much the same thing. But what I will do is I will sort of do this, I think, in a step-by-step format, in case you guys want to know how to build it yourself. This is not necessarily going to be a tutorial, though. This is going to be more of a, okay, this is what to do next, this is what I'm going to do type of thing. So the first thing to do is going to have to be to sort of tunnel off a little bit this way so that we have some room, and then sort of make a nice big area that I can sit all of this in, and sort of build the farm itself. And then I've got the extremely fun, not really, task of building a giant room that goes down, because unlike the nether, I can't just build it up high. Well, I mean, I could, but it would mean that it would look really ugly on the surface, or I would have to sacrifice the integration. So I'm prepared to put the effort in now so that I can have a nice dark room that's fully integrated. So that's the aim at the moment. Now, one drawback with doing Enderman is that it means that I have to carve out an extra 10 layers worth of stuff, material, so that I can actually set this up. And I am also a few bits and pieces short for the collection stuff. This is all the farm things. This is everything that's needed for the lighting, but this here is everything that's needed for the collection. As you can see, I'm missing some stuff. Obviously, powered rails, a few redstoney bits, that kind of thing is still missing. But the aim is that as we go, we should be able to collect everything that we need for it without issue. And the trap can be running, unlike the one in the nether, while I work on the collection part of this, because we don't have gas around, so nothing's liable to explode at me. Hopefully. I'm not sure about creepers when they die, whether they explode or whether they just die. I've not really done any testing with that. So we'll have to see. Anyway, the first thing I think I want to do is... Ooh. Hello. Is actually sort of tunnel off a little bit this way to give me some room. I don't know how far I'm going to go yet, but probably maybe 10-15 blocks from here. So that would be 6 right there. So I'm just going to begin to sort of get an area together that is actually going to be useful. I do know that there is nothing off in this general direction outside of a few pipes, which is why I kind of want to go in front of all of that, because I don't want to run into that. So I might go out maybe... Oops. Oh, whoops. What was that? What was that even for? Is this something I've already pre-built? Oh, no. It's not good. I don't even know where that even goes. I have to put all of those back. I don't even know what this is. What is that? Is that just a random water source block? Must be. And for some reason... Let me fill that in for a minute here. What is that? I guess it was just a random water source that just looked weird for some reason. Give me my sign with all the W's on it back. So now what I'm going to have to do is go back through here, light up all the cave again. Oh, looks like it stopped here, thankfully. There's a chicken there. Obviously a chicken jockey at one point. Trying to keep those out of my world. I did do a little bit of caving. Just to try and keep them out, because they're a bit of a lag generator for this world. And my FPS is not doing that hot as it is, due to all the chests and item frames and such. Ow. You've got to be careful with slimes. You've got to actually let them die first. I think I got all the torches back, though, and we're all set now. So, I'm going to go ahead and prepare that corridor and start laying out the basics of the room. And I'm actually going to have to do some remeasurement now. What's that? 10? That'll be 15 there, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay guys, so I've got the room cleared out here, ready for the top of the darkroom trap, and this redstone torch is basically a marker here for where the lighting is going to be in the roof. So that's the first thing we're going to work on, is the lighting setup, so that we can actually work in relative peace but without having torches everywhere. So I'm actually going to use my silk touch for this, just to kind of get a little bit of extra stone, because it never hurts. So we're going to drop down our redstone torch on a stone brick there, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a block there and a block there. And I'm actually going to have to grab some redstone here real quick. I did forget that. I'm actually going to bring all the stuff I need for the lighting now, including all this. So, pretty simple to do. It's just making sure that we get everything right here, because it's very important to the way we build the farm later down the road. So I'm going to knock that torch out of the way, and then I'm going to place a torch there, and I'm going to need to whip out my silk touch again. We'll just place that there. We want a redstone dust there, and on top of that we want a repeater like so, and we're actually going to set that to 4 ticks of delay. Have a block there, and to the left here, very important that we go left, we're going to place down a pattern. we're going to do 2 redstone dust, leave a gap, 2 redstone dust, leave a gap again. We're going to do this until there are 4 gaps. And these are where the lights are going to go. As you can see, like that. Now, everything is basically set up here. So we should have everything we need now. I'm going to break this. That's the first lamp, second lamp, third lamp, and the fourth lamp right there. I'm going to go down again one more, and then we're going to place the lamps here. And we place redstone dust on top of the lamps. And when this is switched, this is going to be our light switch, it will turn the lamps on. And when it's switched back again, it will turn the lamps off. So this is basically the way of turning the whole thing on or off if we want to. And now what we need to do is repeat this pattern several more times, and we're going to do that very, very simply until I've used up all of my redstone lamps. And in order to do that, we're going to have a redstone and then another repeater, which we're going to set to 4. There's no reason to really do this, I just like the effect it gives, which is why I'm setting it to 4. If you want to set it to 1, you're more than capable of doing so. It's not like it's required to be set to that or anything. And we need to use up all of these repeaters and hopefully get this done in pretty quick time here. This is one of the simpler parts to the build. This whole farm though in general is not very difficult to make, so I wouldn't worry about it as far as doing this goes. For some reason my sound's gone a little bit weird, I'm not really sure why. I'll have to do some investigation with that. And we've only got 4 more repeaters. And let's use these up. Hopefully it's still picking up my voice okay. That would be worrying me if it's not. Okay, so just got one more repeater after this to do. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these lamps and figure out what that sound issue is, and then I will be back. Okay guys, so I've finished up the lighting here as best I can, and I solved the audio problem somewhat. So basically what's happened is my headset is basically broken now. Unfortunately, what's happened is the wire has come loose inside the controller, and it's sort of disconnected and then reconnecting the right speaker. So we're just going to have to deal with that for the time being. It sort of goes in and out, it's kind of intermittent. I'm just going to try and keep going with videos as best I can with this until I can get a new one. Unfortunately, I did look at my warranty setup and it expired only about a month ago, so that's kind of disappointing. But there's nothing I can do about that. I'll just have to try and buy a new one at some point soon, and until then just deal with only having audio in the left speaker. So, this is what the... Ooh, that's not good. This is what the lamps look like, all set up now. The next step to all of this build here is going to be to actually make the main darkroom area. And that's going to be fairly simple to do. I'm just going to have to dig the area out underneath here and then begin to lay down the plate that the mobs will spawn on, and also start and think about hooking up some of the redstone to this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be back. Okay guys, so progress is going well and it's time to move on to the next bit. As you can see, I've actually wrapped up the lighting now, and I'm ready to work on the floor of the darkroom trap here. So I've got this basic layout going, and what this basic layout is a setup that enables me to mark where certain blocks need to go to enable or disable mob spawns. Now if you remember further back in the video, I said I didn't want to talk about, well, I didn't want spiders to spawn, so that's what this block is here for. We're only going to have 2x2 spaces, and this here is designed to stop mobs from walking in here, breaking the use of the shifting floor, so that, you know, mobs, if they was to stand here, they would not fall through. So that's a fix for that. But tripwires will also be able to go through here just fine. So what we need to do now is actually go ahead and sort of extend this to this end here, and then under the lamps we're going to do that. Now we should have a total here that equals 12, so 3, 6, 9, 12, and that is just right. So we're also going to extend it this way. This is where the edge is going to be, and now what we need to do is actually go ahead and actually get a lot more slabs going, because I've got quite a ways to go here to cover all of this. And then once this is done, we're going to start work on the redstone for this. And after the last lamp, which is there, we're going to go 2 blocks more, similar to the other side. So that's the plan at the moment, is to just kind of lay out the floor. Now on this side, we don't want any blocks extra, because this can be only a maximum of 12 wide, as that's the limit the pistons will push. So that's the other thing to bear in mind when building this design here, is that pistons will only push 12 blocks. If you try and do 13, it will not work. And I'm not too worried about torches anymore, because we have the lighting on above. And I'm going to need to get some more stone slabs. So as you can see, I'm actually using an unenchanted diamond pickaxe. I burned all the way through my work pick and all the way through my silk touch pick in digging out that room there. So I just decided, rather than spending time AFK repairing it, it would just be easier for right now at least just to use an unenchanted diamond pickaxe. I'm not really doing too much digging in this next phase until I have to start and dig down the room, so it's not a super huge deal at the moment. Nope. I'm gonna get that guy back. So after this, as I say, it's time to start work on the redstone part of the build, which is not too difficult, but we've got to make sure that we get everything kind of in the right order, if we can. I keep misplacing blocks here, and I say I'm not needed to do a lot of digging, but it turns out that I am. One big thing to remember as well is make sure that these blocks here are actually not a 0.5 of a block like these ones, because mobs can't spawn on 0.5 of a block. They can only spawn on a block that is 0, 0, 0. And that's just because these half blocks here are actual half slabs. It can be kind of hard to differentiate that when we're just building with these blocks. So that's just something else to keep in mind here. So things are moving forward now. I'll show you how to place the slabs here, like so. And as I say, this is just to stop spiders from spawning, because they're only 1 block high, and therefore they will not fall through the shifting floor, because they don't activate the tripwires. And other mobs can activate the tripwires, but they're too wide, so you need to have 2 mobs operate 2 tripwires that are next to each other, and generally it's kind of difficult. And being as I have a spider trap already in this world, and I have a ton of string, and I'm not liable to run out of string, I don't foresee it as a huge deal. So there we go. I'm gonna carry on placing these stone slabs, and then I think after that, as I say, we will begin work on the redstone for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off these, and I'm also gonna show you the best course of action for this, because these slabs can only be placed at that orientation and that height in particular. So the best way of doing it is just having some dirt that you can place and then putting slabs down like that. Not a challenge really, just something that has to be done again to stop mobs from wandering into that area, but tripwires will still be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off, and then I will be back. Okay guys, so I've now gone ahead and done that, and as you can see, the slabs are all done. Now what we're going to do is start work on the redstone for this build here. So let's start with the pistons. Now the pistons here need to be both, I believe, extended. I might have to double check that, because that is an area I'm still a little bit foggy on. I think maybe one side has to be extended and another doesn't, so I will double check that before we get straight involved here. But we'll go ahead and do this side first, and then I'll check and do the other side. So 32 pistons on each side, because we've got a 32 long dark room. So I'm just going to go and really quickly check the other side here. Alrighty, so I checked and I was indeed correct. Only one side needs to be extended, so the other side we're going to start in place like this. Now this is going to be kind of tricky to do, especially for some of them here. Oh, I'm going to have to kind of... There we go. I'm getting the hang of it now. I'm going to need to just try and get all of these in place like this. Pick that piston back up. Get rid of these torches here. Even though they're not really in the way, they will be in a minute, so... And get the last one in place here. There we go. Now we need to do redstone blocks, so... These are fairly easy to do. There we go, we've got all the redstone blocks, and we're going to do the same on this side. And you'll see these pistons do nothing, that's because of the piston push limit. But what we do here is when those pistons on the other side retract, these ones extend, thus making a shifting floor. And then behind those we're going to need some sticky pistons. Like so. Again, this is another detail I'm probably going to have to check a little bit of here, because I believe both of these need to be extended, but I am not sure, so let me double check that too. Yep, both sides need to be extended. And let me just say at this point, I apologize for the couple of cuts that are going on here. I'm trying to build this from memory, and I really want to get it right for you guys, because if you want to, you know, do this in your own world here, then you really need to have the right design. Now what we need to do is get some blocks back here. We're going to do our comparators next. So we're going to need blocks on both sides. We're going to need a few more stone bricks, but that's fine. There we go. Now we're going to place down the comparators. I'm going to try and get into a rhythm with this, because it can be a little difficult. I guess I could just do that. There we go. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Nice and simple. There we go. So now let's move on to the hoppers. Alrighty, so what you want to do here is place some dirt behind the comparators. Like this. And then place your hoppers against this dirt. Like so. And then remove the dirt. There we go. And then place your other hoppers into these ones, and we do that on both sides, which is why we needed 2 stacks of hoppers. So I'm going to have to do some shift clicking here. Oops. And be careful of that. You want to make sure that the hoppers are pointing into the right hopper, because we're making some small hopper timers here, and it's really, really important that the orientation of those are correct there. And we need to do the same on the other side now. Unfortunately, it seems there was an error in my measurements. I'm also going to have to dig this out one more in order to do this step, but that's going to be fairly easy. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get on with that off camera. before we move on. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I expanded the wall there and did the other hoppers, so they're all ready to go. Now what we need to do is actually go ahead and grab the remaining redstone pieces that we're missing here. And that is the repeaters, the torches, the tripwire hooks. And I'm also going to need a few blocks. Oops. So let's go ahead and go back. Oops, a little bit of a FPS spike there for strange reasons. And now what we need to do is place some blocks above the comparators here, and you could either shift click or you could just place them one after the other like this. Pretty simple stuff, nice and easy, and we'll do the same on the other side. This is just generally a good way to get started, is to shift click one. It's very important that we don't have the comparators in negative mode at the moment here, so there we go. Now we need our redstone torches, and we place those along the back here. And what these do is they lock the hoppers until they get turned off. And that is what the tripwires do. So when the tripwires are tripped, the redstone torches are turned off. And this could be kind of challenging here. I'm going to have to go up the side, I think. This room is probably going to need a few adjustments yet, but I just want to get the main structure together for right now. Missed one there. And let's go ahead and finish these now. So that's good. Now the next thing to do is actually going to be to get some half slabs. And you want to go half a block up from where the sticky piston is and place a slab. Just like so. And we're going to bring these across here. Like that, and I'm also going to have to run and grab some more slabs by the looks of things. That's really easy to do. Positive I have some in here somewhere. There we go. So that we can do the other side. So again, just half a block up from sticky pistons. Now if we use half slabs here, the repeaters that we're going to place on these are not going to interfere with the sticky pistons below. Very important to use a half slab here and not a full block. Just like so. And then we're going to get our repeaters and point them facing into the redstone torches. We're going to do the same on the other side. Just like this. And then the ones on these side, this side, we need to set to 4 ticks of delay. Just very tedious here, but they'll be worth it in the end. I've got too many more to do anyhow, so it's always good. And then, once you've done this, you need to get some more stone bricks again. Just gonna do the last few here. I'm gonna get some more stone bricks again, and in front of these, we're gonna place them. And the same on the other side. You need to leave these, however, at 1 tick of delay. We don't need 4 ticks like the other side. That is just designed to make sure that they go one after the other and not at the same time. Perfect. And now we need our tripwire hooks, and we're going to place those on these blocks here. On both sides. We're going to do the same on the other side. There we go, and now we're going to get our half slabs out again, and we are going to half slab all of this up to this point, because we don't want any monsters to spawn on here. We want them to only spawn in the trap. Now the next job here will be to do the string, and also a little bit more slabbing, because there's still areas around the trap here that when we turn the lights out, monsters are going to be able to spawn in that we don't want. So the first thing to do, as I say, is going to be to do the slabbing, and then we will do the string, which I'm probably going to do off camera because it's kind of fairly simple but very monotonous to do, so it makes sense to do that a little bit off camera. But the actual structure of the farm here is pretty much done. There's not too much more to it. As far as the redstone goes, everything's done now. It's just, as I say, the mob proofing part of the build now. And of course the string. Can't forget about that. I don't know if that's going to be enough slabs, so I'm going to bring some more smooth stone just in case. Because we really want to make sure that if we're going to go to the lengths of building a dark room like this, that only mobs that spawn in the trap are going to be ones that spawn. We don't want them spawning out of the trap. We're going to try and light up any of the caves in the area as well, so that they attempt to spawn in this trap more often than in other caves and so on and so forth. So we're also going to do a little bit of that later in the episode. Now, you want to slab off the top of these. Now, for this side, just need to come out to here. I'll pick that up. Let's go ahead and do that. So, wherever you've got slabs on the bottom half, like I have here, we're going to do slabs on the top half as well. At the same height as the ones we've already placed. Just like that. Just going to need to get in here a minute. And then I'll do the next two here. There we go. And we're going to have to do this on the other side in a minute too, but one side at a time. There we go. And we're also going to have to bring it out to here. And go down one block there. And then all of this is not mob spawnable anymore. Everywhere in the farm itself is going to be pretty well done at this point. So let's go ahead and do those. I'm going to stop off and eat some food a minute. I'm going to do these slabs. Just like so. And then we'll do these. And then it's on to the other side. And as I've suspected, I am now out of slabs. So, let's go make some more. Let's get some more slabs here together. There we go. That should do us for a while now. So where did I get to? Right here. Just finish these few off. And remember to slab these as well. Oops. Almost there. There we go. I can tear down this little whatever here now. That little pillar there. And now it's time to do the other side. So I'm going to have to build yet another pillar to get up on top of the thing. I'm going to start by doing these. And with this one we need to go out one more block. Till we reach here. No connecting up with the lamps on this side though. Just need to do it here. Now, unfortunately, one drawback of this design is that baby zombies will be able to escape into this area, but they will despawn over time. Or failing that, they will go back into the main trap and be processed like any other regular mob. There's no real fix for that, and this trap was designed before baby zombies came out, so there's no real proper fix for that. Along with chicken jockeys as well. Chicken jockeys will fall to the bottom. They don't take fall damage like other mobs do. So with chicken jockeys, you're going to have to also be aware that they will just float down to the bottom, but then again will despawn. However, I believe that chicken jockeys will only despawn on version 175 plus, so you need to be on Minecraft 1.7.5 or above. I am on, which one is it now? 1.7.10 now. So I'm in good shape there, but that's just that's a point to note. If you are on 1.7.2, then chicken jockeys don't exist in your game yet, so you don't have to worry about it then either. But to be kind of more future-proof, I would definitely be aware of that. The fix for it is that they despawn. So yeah, I can't really offer any more advice than that. There may be a way around it, but it's really, really difficult. I've attempted to half slab pretty much every area that they're going to spawn in, and the chances of getting a baby zombie that are going to escape into that area are slim because of the shifting floor. And the baby zombie jockeys, the chances of spawning are so low, it's probably not worth worrying about, especially being as they despawn as well. So I'm not too worried about it myself with this trap here. And we'll just get these last few slabs going. Just need to finish the last couple. Here we go. And that's that. Still not quite done though yet. We do need to connect up these areas. And the way that we do that is we go a half slab out, connect the two sides together. And we do the same thing over here. Like this. And we're going to do the same at the other end. And this just kind of pens all the mobs in so that they don't go wandering off the edge. Again, the chances of that are pretty slim, but it's worthwhile having the protection. And it's only a few extra half slabs to spend, so I think it's worth it in my opinion. And I am out of half slabs yet again, but I can go ahead and fix that off camera. So now what we need to do is actually fill in the hoppers. We still need to do that, and then get the string in place. And then I think once all of that is done, this should be operational at that point. All that needs doing then is to kind of clean up the walls and build the room down so that the mobs will actually die on impact, and then set up the collection area. And that will be the next step to all of this. So actually, let's go ahead and do the hoppers now, because we can do those fairly easily. Now for those, you're going to need 2 stacks of an item. Now I have a lot of cobblestone, so I don't mind spending some cobblestone on this. Yeah, 2 stacks of cobblestone here. And this is going to be a little bit tedious, but what we need to do is in each one of these hoppers, place a single cobblestone. And it will enter this one here, and you will hear the pistons extend. That is the sticky pistons getting a grip, so to speak, on the redstone blocks in front there. And this is going to be pretty painful, so I'm going to go ahead and do this a little bit off camera. And then I will be back. Okay, so I have now set all of that up in the hoppers, and I did make a small mistake. You only need 1 stack of items, not 2. I was being thrown off by the fact that we'd used 2 stacks of hoppers. So now, the next job is to connect the tripwire hooks together using string. And ignore this piston here, that's intentional. I was just doing some testing off camera with the tripwire hooks. So, fairly simple. Again, just got to do the sort of connection-y part now using your string. And I guess actually I should show you what occurs here when I connect these together. Is there one missing somewhere? Yeah, there we go. So if you stand in here, as you can see, the floor magically shifts, and if I was stood in there, I would actually fall down. I think we can try that. There you go. Now, if I was a mob, I would actually fall through, but because the floor is just below my feet, that obviously can't happen. But the farm is not finished yet. We need to dig that room. And I am not looking forward to that at all. I can tell you that. So, now I'm going to go ahead and connect all of these together using the string. And again, this is another pretty boring, monotonous task, so I think I'm going to also get on with this one off camera. But I did want to show you how it's done. So, be back soon. So, I've made some adjustments to the room and also worked on a few things off camera, so I'm going to go through those things with you now. So, the first thing I did is I added all the string. As you can see, all the tripwires are hooked up now, which is all good. Now I actually flipped the delay of these around to get rid of that bug where the pistons were sort of in this slot like this one is here, and that kind of lowered the spawning spaces a little bit. So I just flipped those around so the 1 tick of delay is on the left and the 4 ticks are on the right. So beyond that, I have also added all the items to the hoppers. I'm not sure if that was included in the last clip or not, although it doesn't seem like I've done this side apparently. Or is it just this one? Must just be this one. Aha! There we go. Just a little issue there it seems. So I can throw that back in there like that. And there we go. So, seem in pretty good shape with that. And I also did a little bit of cave-in. There was a cave over here that I heard monsters in. It's mainly close to the surface, so there was not really any good resources in it. There was a dungeon here, but nothing too special. It was just a zombie spawner with some loot in it. You know, just kind of the usual dungeony loot. Name tags, saddles, buckets, string, gunpowder. Those sorts of things. Nothing special like a nice enchanted book or anything, so I didn't really think that was worth including. But I did want to let you know that I have done that. There's probably still a lot more caves around here that need to be lit up, but I think that from the mobs I saw in that cave, things are to the point where this is actually going to be beneficial to have, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now the next job to all of this is to... Actually, before I get to that, I also, as you can see, brought the wall forward a little bit here just to make the room smaller so it's a bit easier to dig out. Same thing here. Which leads me into my next point of what needs to be done next. And what does need to be done next is to dig this room down, and we are currently stood at Y49. So we need to make this at least 40 blocks deep from here. The slabs, I believe, are a block up from this. So we need to go all the way down to Y9 in this room here. And that is not going to be fun. I'm going to go and repair my pick, and then I'm going to have to do a lot of monotonous digging. Now, probably once I get 30 blocks and below, I'm going to switch this on, because I will be outside of the sort of bubble where mobs don't spawn around me, and also everything apart from Enderman is going to fall to its death, so I might start and get some dark room loot as I'm going, which would definitely be useful. And then after that, we need to do the collection area. We need to set all of that up, then hook it up into a filter, and then do the setup which goes into the storage room. So, while this has not been super quick to do, it's nothing compared to what I've still got to do. Digging out this room is going to be very painful, and quite long actually, because I've got to go 40 blocks deep into the earth. I could put slabs everywhere here and sacrifice Enderman and only go down 30 blocks, but I kind of want the Enderman enhancement because I don't have one of those Enderman farms, so I kind of want that. Now, it's going to be difficult when I get down there trying to cram in the collection system and then the filter setup and then get it into the storage room, so I might have to do some drop evators or something down there to get the loot to a separate area where I can actually sort everything out and that kind of thing. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The next thing to do, as I say, is going to be to dig this room down 40 blocks. So I'm going to go spend some time at the grinder, get some levels, repair my pick again, the work pick here, and then I'm going to start digging.